Hello friends and welcome to another video. My name is Cass and today I'm going to start painting a mural on my bedroom wall, which I'm extremely excited for. I've wanted to paint a mural on my wall since I was about 12, but I was always scared to and I didn't know what to paint. However, I just turned 20 and with all this new wisdom and maturity, I'm gonna finally do it. I've also decided not to make my entirely own design, which helps a lot. I'm going to paint this painting, Starry Night Over the Rhone by Vincent van Gogh, or at least an artist rendition of. I am not planning to get as close as I can to it. I think I'm going to get my own twist on it, especially because this is a very impressionist painting, which probably wouldn't translate well to a wall, which is going to be way flatter. I'm not going to be able to lay on the paint is thick, but I'm hoping to get a similar effect. What I've done yesterday, let's move you to my wall, is I've kind of mathed out where the main things are going to be. This looks like nothing, it's just dots, but I kind of know what it means. So I know where all the big guidelines are. I'm going to be working with a reference picture, but I'm not going to sketch any further than this. Yeah, I've also, I don't know how I can show you, wait. This is the sketching out. I've also just put tape, can't really see that well, there we go. Put tape around the corners everywhere so I don't make too much of a mess. I'm leaving the bookshelf up because, one, I don't have the tools here to take it off. 2, it's nice to hold things. 3, it's too much of a bother because it's going to go back there anyway. Hello, I am back from the garden center. I spent way too much time and money there, but I got some brushes, I got my painting framed, I also got a houseplant, which I shouldn't have done, but it's going to look really pretty on that bookshelf once everything's done. It's now closing in on 10:30. I've just moved my bed, there's even more shit on it now. I laid out newspapers on the rest of the floor. And we're about ready to get going. I'm gonna pull up my reference picture in a minute, and then I'm gonna start. I don't have a very good plan. The plan is to do it by area. I was gonna be like, should I just start in like that corner? But I decided that instead I'm gonna do it per thing. I'm gonna start with the thing that I'm least intimidated by, which is like the skyline along here, and then I'm gonna do the bottom, and then I'm gonna do the water and then the sky, or I'm gonna mix water and sky. Yeah, so I'm gonna set up and put on some music and we're good to go. Okay. I'm just saying this, my dad, I think both of my parents would hate the way that I'm going about this, but they're not here, and they're not gonna see how I'm going about this. They'll only see the final product, which means that I'm allowed to do this whatever the heck I want. Hello, it is, oh I didn't look at the time. It's about noon and I have finished, well I did the first things of this, which I don't like very much, but that's why I did it first so we can always go over it again. And then I did a bit of this. I like the way that this looks. The rest I'm gonna have to fill in with some blue there also and some more yellow. And I started doing some blue there, but it's too much blue, so I'm gonna have to go over with more yellow. And also make some green, I think, maybe some brown. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm now going to have a lunch break. And then when I come back from that, I'm going to go back to this bottom section. Yeah. Hello, it is about 3:30 right now. I don't think I like anything I've done in the last hour. I mean, I've been enjoying the process, I love it, but like the result, it looks better on camera actually. This is what we're working with right now. Well, I don't know if that's true. But it's okay. I've been telling myself that it's fine. This isn't underpainted. The only colors I'm worried about running out of, well, the only color I'm worried about running out of is yellow. So this blue part that I'm kind of fucking around with right now, I can do as many times as I want, basically. Well, that's not true, but I can do it once over. I'm okay with like the way this looks. It's just this like lighter bit that looks a bit shit. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. I've just run out of paint, so I still need to do that bit. So I'm gonna make some new ones. I'm gonna have to think about how to make this yellow look good with the rest. I also haven't looked at my reference picture in about an hour, so I'll have to do that. Hello friends, my hair is a mess, I'm covered in paint, and I'm about to pass out from the paint fumes. However, it's been good. I'm going to call it a day. It is 4:45 right now, which means I started painting, I don't remember. I think it was around 11. So then I took an hour lunch break, so I've spent about 5 hours on this. I think it might have been, or 5 to 6 hours I've spent so far. And this is what it looks like so far. I mean, there's no way, I don't think, for me to show you the whole. Oh, this is a bad idea. Do you ever have one of those things where you're like, oh, this is a bad idea, before you do it, and then you do it anyway? I've had a bunch of those today. So this is what it looks like right now. I should not touch it right now. Do you know that thing when you're painting something and you're done and then you just like keep messing with it for like an hour? I do that often, and I'm tempted to do that now, but I'm gonna clean up my painting supplies, so I cannot physically do that. Yeah, and I'll show you tomorrow. Hello friends, and welcome to day 2 of this situation. I realized all of the yellow I'm using should be dark. However, I've elected to move on for now. My current plan is for today, day 2, to take on the sky and get it as done as this is, or a bit more. If I have time, I'll do this situation. Otherwise, tomorrow, 3 is to meddle with everything and make everything kind of coherent. And hopefully then I will be done. I don't know how optimistic that is. It is not very bright, it's raining, but quite early. It's just past 8:30, and I'm going to get started on this. My plan, I'm going out for dinner for my birthday with some friends later today. So we should leave at 6, a little bit to 6 here. And then before that I need to shower, so I want to continue until, I don't know, 5 to be safe maybe. So yesterday I did 6 hours. I think something similar is going to happen here. I should take some more breaks because the paint fumes are making me lightheaded a little bit yesterday. And I also would like to stop a bit earlier if possible, because last night, I was sleeping in this room with the window open, but still I smelled the paint a lot. I would like that to be a little bit less, if at all possible. So yeah, I am gonna put up my reference picture and I'm gonna get started on the sky. So friends, it's now about noon, and I am covered in paint again. This time, unfortunately, not exclusively my skin, also some of my sweater and some of my floor and also that chair. But it's fine, it's the sacrifices we make for the art. And I'll clean it up later today. Anyway, I can't really show you this well. There we go. I've done the blue largely. I'm now going to make in the stars. And then I'm gonna have lunch. I'm trying to decide whether I should wait with the stars until after I have lunch, but I think I'm gonna do it first because I'm about halfway through an episode of Penumbra. So I think I'm gonna finish that one and then have lunch. I've done the stars. I also had lunch. I'm back at it again. I fucked up a little bit on the stars, but it's still wet, so I can't fix it now. I need to let go because otherwise I'm gonna just smudge the blue and the yellow and everything, and it's gonna be even worse. So I'm currently going to fix this a little bit, then come back and fix that, and then I'm gonna call it a day, I think, which I hope to be at 3, somewhere between 3 and 4. Oh my god, look at that. Should I just take my sweater off, but then I'm gonna get my... How did it get that bad? Hello, it is close to 4. I just took a shower and I put on my like nice clothes so I wouldn't keep fucking with the mural, which I realized now is maybe a bad idea because I still need to clean everything up. But you know, we all make bad ideas. I have certainly made a few this past 2 days. That was not a good sentence. See, this is an example of a mistake I've made. I feel like my choice of painting is a bit difficult, or at least more difficult than I thought it would be, because there is no proper way to emanate that impressionist thick brushstroke style on a mural, because you're blending it in, like there's not so much relief. Which I'm now just thinking, there is some pretty relief and I'm gonna have to paint this over when I move out of this place, and I have not considered that. That means that the wall will not be smooth. But that's a problem to worry about in like 2 years when we move out. But what was I saying, right? So you can't do that, and I've now decided that I will not try to do that because it's a bit difficult. But I realized that then if you do the thick strokes, the kind of childish, like I don't know how to explain it properly, but if you try to still emanate that style, then it looks kind of like a child did it. Which I'm realizing now as I look at it, where I'm like, yeah, I feel like this is pretty close. Oh, I need to paint in the boats, I keep forgetting that. I need to do that tomorrow. But then it looks kind of shitty. So I now need to consider if I want to make it more realistic looking, or like what the exact direction is. I think I'm just gonna not look at the reference picture about anymore at all. And I'm just gonna be like, well, I'll need to paint in the boats. But after that, I'm just gonna do like, okay, what will make this look better? Which is what I've been doing most of today anyway. But yeah, these are my thoughts now. I am going to clean up some of this mess, hopefully without getting too much paint on myself and my nice clothes. And I will put in a picture here of what day 2 progress looks like. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. Oh, it's day 3. It's a bit later than I would have liked. It's 10:30-ish, and I'm about to get started. I don't really have a good plan for today. I want to fix this area. Let's do that. Also, I don't like the way those light things are. And then some of the stars I want to fix. And then other than that, I'm not really sure. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it today. I don't know. It doesn't feel finished. I don't know. We're gonna fuck around and find out, I guess. Yeah. In case you're wondering what I'm using to stand on, it's a magazine that I got for free with a book at some point. and a bunch of my economics assignments from last semester. Turns out macroeconomics is useful after all. Jokes. It is about 1:30. Motivation is low, morale is waning, troops, their hearts just aren't in it anymore. I'm not having the best time. But I've decided to redo those star things because they were upsetting me. Star things are light things. And I think that and painting the boats there is the last thing I'm going to do today, and then hopefully fix that corner a little bit more. I just had lunch, and the only exciting thing that is currently putting up my morale is that I got a little package with a book. It's Loveless by Alice Oseman, which is incredibly exciting because this was one of my most anticipated releases of this year. So I think that when I finish doing that, I'm gonna start reading it. Yeah, that's a good motivator, I think. So I'm gonna get on with it. Hello. There has been a bit of an incident. Oh, it's also definitely on my phone. Also, over here. This is still wet, and I was doing these lines. Yeah, this is sad. Can you see that? This is incredibly sad because I've just made it worse. If anything, it is surprising that this is the first time this has happened because I'm an incredibly impatient person, and waiting for paint to dry is not something I am physically capable of doing. So yeah, we're seeing the negative effects of that right now. I'm very over this. It's like 2 minutes after this happened. I remember that I still need to do I decided to intermission to tell you about some things that I've been listening to and reading in the past couple of days. What I've been reading first, I just finished the House in the Cerulean Sea. It's a new favorite. I adore it very much. Let's pick it up. So I've been listening. I listened to the first 2 episodes of the Bright Sessions. Didn't love it very much. I listened to the first episode of something else. I don't even remember. But largely I've been listening to the Penumbra podcast. I'm currently a little over midway through season 2, and I adore it so very much. Especially the Juno Steel stories. Like, it's so good. I listened to season break Q&A or whatever, which was an hour and a half long, and that just made me fall even more in love with the story. Like, the creators are so lovely and doing so well at making this incredible story that is just, the world of it is so amazing, and I mean everyone's queer, which is great. Yeah, I like it so much. And the second Citadel is growing on me. During the first season of Juno, or at least part of that season, I didn't particularly care for it because of, I guess partially because of the anthology format of it, whereas I just want more Juno. I don't care about this other thing. I don't know, I like the characters, and I like that they're using this story as, I don't know, to explore homophobia and like sexuality and gender things. More so than Juno. That's what I find an incredibly interesting conversation they were having in that Q&A, where they were talking about how Juno is interesting because everyone is queer, which is great, and it means you can do a lot of fun things with the characters, but also makes discussing those topics more difficult. Not only because you can't have much of a commentary on it if the problem doesn't exist, homophobia doesn't exist, but it also makes it difficult to talk about the topics at all because they are so normalized. It made them confront their own biases and their own internalized homophobia because when you first got reaction to something, it's like, no, that wouldn't work. And then your second reaction is, why wouldn't that work? And then the answer to that is internalized homophobia. That is something you can confront in that way, and I think that's incredibly cool, and it makes me really tempted to want to write something like this, just to see what I would find in myself, I guess. Just looking at the fucking wall. I'm a bit upset with it. Thanks for chatting with me, I guess. Is this a cool M or she M? What kind of is?
I keep a photograph in which we were in love, caught in your eyes, waiting for the sunrise. I barely even knew who you were. What did you do? I didn't care, 'cause you were perfect, I swear. But somebody told me that it's over. Oh no, it's true. You made me happy for a while. I remember fleeting times when we slept on top of cars. Now I don't know you, you don't know me too. I remember fleeting times when we watched the sparks of fire.
You guys should see how much fucking paint I have all over me. Let's inspect. I'm gonna show you. This is one hand. This is my other hand. This is my arm. I think this is my arm. Fine. This is one thigh. You can't see it that well. I did make a little bit of a smile there. We're a bit fucked up, but that's where we're gonna leave it for today. And I will insert a picture here of like the best picture I could take of the finished product so far. And I'm gonna come back next week with hopefully some, oh, I still have paint on my face also. Hopefully some better plans on how to tie this all together. Hello and welcome to the last day of painting. I've decided that this is the last day of painting because I have paint on my nose. I've decided that this will be the last day of painting because, as with all painting, one must decide that it will be done or it will never, you will keep meddling with it forever. There's a lot of things that I'm not 100% happy with right now, but it's just incredibly difficult, especially because it's dried and I can't mix. I feel like I can't mix the exact same kind of paint and then like to have it blend properly. That's currently my biggest issue, which means that I shouldn't try that too much, I think, because I will only make it worse, perhaps. So what I've done today already, let me show you. Did I tell you that I was adding the boats? Yeah, last time I was adding the boats. Okay. I've meddled with this some more. I'm pretty content with it now. Let me go stand on my bed real quick. I changed, I realized that the light where that is brightest in the sky and in the water don't match up, which is a bit annoying. I've tried to make that a bit brighter around the stars also. This is one of those parts I'm not stoked about, but I think I'm gonna leave it. It looks a bit different on camera. The camera is a bit more clear actually, where I should still change some things. So I might do that. And then the only thing that's really left is that corner that I've gone over many times, but I don't like it, and I think that corner looks much better. And what I cannot figure out for the life of me is how to get that corner to look like that corner. But that is something that I'm going to try to do. I've made a mistake. I started over on the bottom left, bottom right corner, by just painting over the things I've done, and I now hate it even more Should have just left it how it was. It was fine that way. It is currently about 3 o'clock, which doesn't mean anything to you because I didn't say when I started doing this. I think around 11. I just finished listening to the season 2 finale of Juno Steel, not of Penumbra, because I still have the second Citadel season thing to go, but second season of Penumbra, that ending was like that whole finale was incredibly good. Like everything about it was just, it was perfect. I cried, I laughed, I shook myself with joy and anguish. It was the best. The reason that I'm saying this is I just finished that episode, which means I have decided that this mural is finished. I'm still not entirely happy with the way that corner looks. However, I'm gonna cover up that corner with my bed at some point soon. After I clean, because that's the thing I have to do right now, is clean this whole mess up. But that means that I have decided that I am done. I'm I don't like that corner, but I think it will look okay. And it's not, I'm just going to look at it now. It's not the corner that your eye is drawn to too much, maybe a little bit too much. I don't know, it's difficult. No, I've decided I'm done. I've decided that I am done. Okay, so I did make a few final touches, approximately immediately after I finished filming that other clip, but now I am done, and I'm gonna clean up, so I will force myself to be actually done. Yeah. Hello friends, it is like a week after I finished the painting, and I was editing the video and realized I never made an outro. So this is the outro. I've put my room back together, I've cleaned it up. I put the bookshelves back with that plan. That's the plan that I got at the beginning of this video. And there's still a bunch of things about it that I don't like. That corner for one. But I think I'm gonna like it more if I stop seeing it as something that I'm working on and more as like part of my room, which I think I'm already doing. Yeah, I will put a picture here of the finished product, and that's the end of this. Maybe don't try this at home. Do if you want, because I had a good time, but also it still smells a little bit like paint in this room. So do that at your own discretion, I guess. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again at some point. Bye!